How's it going, Critter Family? I hope you all are doing well. I got a suggestion recently to take a look at a video by this creator, LionheartK9. So, I don't think I've looked at her footage before. I know I have, I think I have some other suggestions, in the queue of videos to look at, but I don't think I've covered her anytime recently. So I don't know if she's the trainer or somebody else's, but this dog already looks terrified. Very, very nervous. Very stiff. They have a choke chain on. Looks like using a prong collar to help control a large young dog. So here's the prong collar. So as if the choke chain doesn't do enough, we're going to use the prong collar. So either way, using all footage here under Fair Use Act for education, criticism, giving my point of view, trying to give a voice to the dog mainly, and give you a different point of view to look at it, and at the very least think of it. Really, like, these aren't just like being cute. This dog looks pretty nervous. They're not showing whale eyes, but anyway, if you want to support Lionheart and subscribe to them and all that good stuff, then please do. I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm just giving my point of view. So if you want to support them, by all means. If you want to support myself, then you're welcome to subscribe or like or dislike or leave a comment or even check out my Patreon. There's always a link in the description below. If you are in the northern Washington area and you are interested in any kind of a board and train with a positive reinforcement trainer, then you can take a look at my website, and there's options there for a 7-day minimum to a 21-day maximum board and train stay, and you can look at all that good stuff. So with all that out of the way, we are just going to take a look and see how this dog feels about having a prong collar on.
Okay, this is our newest creature.
So still, I'm going to say just very, very stimulated. The whale eyes are starting to come out, but the eyes are very, very wide open, closed mouth. I think the dog just is very stimulated. So not necessarily that they are scared. I mean, I still, I'm still on the edge of, they look nervous, but they're not necessarily happy, but they're just stimulated. They're excited and nervous is what what I see here.
Toothless the dragon from How to Train Your Dragon. Actually, his name is Phoenix. Hi, Phoenix.
Cute.
And he has had some.
So for me, just the what I noticed first is the control to keep the dog's head in a specific position, or keep the dog in a specific position. The dog can't even go down and sniff without her correcting the dog. It could be for the sake of filming. I don't know, but that's one thing that I noticed.
His owner...
He looks like a lot of shepherds, where he's very handsy, he's very pawsy, he uses his paws a lot. Here, this could be, he's associating the collar and the hand right here by the collar as a correction. He might be trying to appease her, saying, hey, please don't jerk on me.
His owner, his job had changed. His job expectations had changed, so he was no longer able to keep the dog off.
Oh, poor guy. Okay, so he's really trying to appease. He's not comfortable having hands that tight and all that. He's showing he's uncomfortable, and she just corrects him and tells him off. If I have a dog that's pawing at me, which, to me, jumping or pawing can be, kind of annoying, and it can, I don't really care, but if they're really digging at you. Anyway, you can still teach them to keep their little feet on the floor without ever having to touch them. If I'm interacting with the dog and trying to get them used to me touching them around their collar and their chin and their face, and they paw me as a way to stop that behavior, then I want to touch and move away before they feel the need to, tell me, hey, back off, in like the nicest way a dog can, right? Or before I get them so excited that they want to continue pawing. I might hold a treat in one hand, or have a little bit of like peanut butter on a little sticky mat, a little doggy licky mat, really. And I can just gently go over it and just caress very lightly and move away. And that would be a form of pressure and release. And the whole time they're being reinforced with peanut butter or something really nice. So they're not just focusing on me.
He's a bit of a worrier, this dog.
Yeah, great. So let's put more pain on him to make him worry even more. No wonder he's a worrier. He lost his home by no fault of his own. He's young. He's a shepherd. He's been used to this kind of unnecessary correction, and now he's here.
So we're going to kind of reintroduce him to work.
Lip lick. Look how tight this thing is. The prong collar is constantly giving him a correction. You know they had that little triangle bit on of chain on the prong collar because it wasn't ever meant to be put on this tight. I mean, they're just to turn it around, they're digging into this dog's neck. The closed mouth, the whale eyes, the worried look, the lip lick. This dog doesn't need any of this. They do.
He's a
lip
really
lick.
Nice dog.
Ouch. Ouch. Lip lick.
I've
Ouch.
always admired this dog.
To all those people who think that I'm just some emotional lady and they get irritated by me saying ouch. How about I go put this around your neck and tie it as tight as I can and then scrape it across your neck, your sensitive neck. You don't even have fur to protect it.
When he was a youngster.
Poor thing. I mean, you just... He cannot scream any louder that he is nervous and this is painful and he doesn't like it. Whale eyes. Ears are back. Turning away. Very closed mouth. Very tight mouth. He doesn't have short lips like he's about to bite, but lip lick. This is the poster child for please stop doing what you're doing. If you force me even more, I may bite. This is moving towards flight. But he probably would never dare bite because we know what kind of, well, we don't know what kind of treatment she would give him. I imagine it's not anything that a modern day animal psychologist would do to help him.
Working with him over a year ago.
Lip lick, lip lick.
I told his owner that.
God dang, that thing is so tight. This poor dog. Look at that. Dogs are not manipulative. Any dumbass who says that dogs manipulate you with looks, they don't think that way. They don't work that way.
I'd make a hole for him on the off chance that he couldn't keep him.
See, the fact that she just clips it on him, he thought, maybe for a second he might have thought he was free, or it hurt him. Because when she put the leash on there, maybe she corrected it or she moved it. I mean, look at this curved back. He's not sitting up straight. He's more cowering.
And here we are with the new dog.
God, this poor thing.
I know, you're a good boy. I know, huh? So I'm going to keep the chain on him as a backup.
Of course, because we're an idiot and we don't know what to do without if this thing ever breaks. God, just look how tight that is. Just look at the change of this behavior. Even from being from this to that. Good Lord.
It's a little snug for him.
It is a little snug. So why are you using it? Stop being lazy. Go change something. Add an extra link. Or better yet, don't use it at all. God.
To that good boy. And this collar's a little snug for him, but it's not too bad. Good
not
boy.
Too bad. Look at that. This dog is crying for help.
And he's a very enthusiastic dog. He's a Dutch Shepherd. Okay.
I thought he was a Dutch Shepherd.
And although he has had work, he hasn't had consistent work in months. So all we're doing is just basically getting him to reacquaint himself with the feeling of pressure. Good lad.
He doesn't need the feeling of pressure. This is not pressure. This is stabbing pain. I guarantee she would never have this around her neck and have somebody else pull on it. Just absolute nonsense.
Thank you, buddy. I knows it, huh? You're such a good boy.
Looking away. He doesn't like her touching him. He doesn't trust her. But she's the master and he's the slave. She's the slave driver. And he says, I'll listen to you. I don't want any problems.
And
maybe relieving stress with that stress panting.
Get him adjusted here. Okay, bud.
Beautiful little dog.
And all we're doing is basically allowing the dog to find the end of the leash on his own.
No, that's, again, laziness and failure on your part and being uneducated. Because you don't know that you don't need to do this. The dog doesn't need to run to the end of the leash on a prong collar to hurt himself to learn not to pull. That's your job to teach him, not by relying on metal tools.
Not creating any drama. I don't need to. The collar is doing all of the work.
Yeah, because you're lazy. She's old, she's lazy, she's out of shape, she doesn't want to do it, blah, 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 blah. Whatever, then don't be a trainer. I don't have active dogs in my life? Because I'm not an active person. I cannot keep up with a border collie, a Dutch shepherd, even maybe a regular shepherd. I mean, I could barely keep up with my Shiba, and he was basically born an old man. I don't participate in sports or have these really high energy dogs because I know I could not give them the life they need. She's just here training him, and she can't even be bothered to teach him in a harness or take the time it takes.
For me, when he comes to me, good dog.
Wow, because that's the only thing he gets, and because he's a Dutch Shepherd and he is made genetically and mentally and his DNA has been modified so much to work so well with humans and be a slave to humans that good boy will be enough for him. But a Shiba, any kind of a Spitz, a Shiba, a Husky, a Chow Chow, Samoyed, even Anatolian Shepherd. I know it's not a Spitz, but those dogs, a Kangal dog, Central Asian Shepherd dog, hell no, that good boy wouldn't mean squat. And if you ever actually tried to hurt those dogs, they would have half a mind to kill you. Maybe not kill you, I won't go that far, but to fight back. Which is why I appreciate so much having Adonis in my life, because he taught me, don't listen to this garbage, this malarkey. That's my inner old lady dialogue. Dogs like this, we made them to be easy so we can be stupid and lazy, or at least ignorant, and choose not to learn. Because the dog does all the work for us. We don't even barely have to move to teach the dog anything. And if we don't like it, we have a remote for them. We have a remote. We can literally shock our dog from a distance. Or we can just apply a finger's worth of pressure at the end of a 6-foot or 7-foot leash because there's leverage, and it will still correct the dog. Just unbelievable.
He moves away. If he tries to move outside the parameter of that leash pressure, he corrects himself.
No, you correct him because you're the one who put the collar on him. He doesn't correct himself. This is no way to get any kind of a bond. I've made my Shiba as soft as she is applying pressure on this leash with him on a harness. Let's watch how soft she pulls. That's pressure.
Leash pressure.
Pressure. Pop.
Good.
That very light pressure, I did that with my Shiba with a harness that clipped in the back. What is her excuse? She's lazy. She's older. She's out of shape. She doesn't have the energy. I don't care. Then don't be doing this kind of work. The dog doesn't care. It's not hard, people. You don't even have to be in shape or energetic or young to be able to teach a dog this. You can teach a dog not to pull if you're in a wheelchair. It's not about being necessarily physically fit when you use the proper method. But because you have to use force and pain and all this, you have to have some kind of measure of strength. And that's when the tools come in.
Dog. Every time he comes close to me, I just simply reinforce that, right?
With a good dog. Wow, great. Good job. Good job, slave.
Okay. Kennel. Here, sit. I know, who is that? Is that your boyfriend, Spider? Both of you are the same behavioral age range.
Poor dog.
Which
I will say, I'm glad that she didn't say no at him. I'm glad she didn't pop him. She just reset him. Wow. Okay, you get a whole brownie point for that. Good job.
Adolescent idiots. Good lad. Now, the correction I just
that was a stress yawn. He's nervous.
For coming off the table. I didn't invite it. I didn't beat him up. I just simply put him back.
This is a stress pant. Sorry, dude. The tongue flopping out on the side, stress pant.
Okay. Because again, at this point, like I said, I mean, this dog hasn't been worked in a long time. I just want to kind of get a refresher for where he is.
So if he did know, in your opinion, what you might say is he does know better, does that mean that would qualify for a harsher correction? Because the dog doesn't know. He's just tired. He's trying. There's no other reason to not. He's going to get corrected anyway. Whether he's doing it right, he still gets corrected because the collar's so damn tight. And if he gets off, he's going to get corrected. So why does he care? He has nothing to work for. It's just learned helplessness. God forbid you give him any kind of a cue. You tell him to sit. You ask him to sit. You use your hand.
Good.
See, trainers like this, people like this, rely on the tool to do all the work. And when that tool isn't there, they have nothing. They can do nothing unless they have severely corrected the dog so much and been so controlling and just completely made this dog, put the fear of God into this dog that they can use just their voice and threaten. The dog will listen because it's a shepherd. But again, you try that with a Spitz dog, livestock guardian dogs, that doesn't work. I mean, you get them when they're young enough, but...
You can see he's not fighting the collar.
He's not necessarily fighting the collar because he's smart. It hurts so much. He says, I'm not going to fight this. I'm just going to go with it. What happens if he does fight the collar? What, you just sit there, anchor him to a point and let him get over it? Alligator roll? Injure himself?
Very nice. Phoenix heel. Or that way. Sit. Good. You're a good dog.
Now, paw lift. This dog is just so nervous. This is not impressive at all. Just some of the laziest training I've seen in a while. So that's my 2 cents. I hope you all enjoy it. I hope you all got something from it. Go say hi to your little critters. And your other loved ones too. Your two-legged loved ones too. Say hi for me. Give them, your little critters, some kind of loving. And until next time, stay positive.